Hello everybody and welcome to Rings of Rod's semi-realistic point series. My name is Krysten Vieira and tonight we close out round 9 of competition as we make the channel debut in Miami, Florida in the old school Sun Life Stadium to watch as our RORSRPS All Stars face off against the top 7 from last week's show. Any tryouts tour competitors from last week that break into the top 8 tonight will continue on to next week's tryouts tour finale. Don't forget, RORSRPS is a sign-up series and you don't even need Rigs of Rods to get in on the action. Always check the comments under the week's freestyle video to see what trucks are available for sign-ups after the show. Leave your name and Instagram if you have one to lock in your truck for the season. It is one truck per person though, so choose wisely. And one last thing before we get started, RORSRPS Season 3 trading cards commemorate every truck and driver featured this season in randomized packs of 7. You can check them out and get your hands on them only at RORSRPS.com. And when you get 4 packs or more, you get 25% off your order automatically. Whether you're searching for your favorites, looking for limited editions, finding your own, or collecting them all, we got them only at RORSRPS.com. Now though, let's get a look at our Dubby racing bracket as we jump into tonight's competitions. Kicking us off in the racing competition, it's Trevor Goldberg in Max D taking on Carl Van Horn in Gravedigger Fire. Giovanna Hayes in Megalodon Fire is going to take on Madusa, of course, driving Madusa. Armando Castro in El Toro Loco will take on Gravedigger Krysten Anderson with the Pink Digger. Then we got Devyn Barber in Avenger taking on Minton in Knucklehead. Shane Lake in Gravedigger 35 is going to take on Bari Musawwir in Zombie. Then it's Colt Stevens in Thunder Roars taking on Brandon Scaff in Red Hot. Dawson Reyes in Shake Me is going to take on Wolverine. Dustin Brown behind the wheel there, and closing out round 1, it's Josh Tonkin in Son of a Digger taking on Steven Mason in Tornadic. Yes, all of our drivers from last week are back once again. No one managed to sign up. So if any tryouts tour competitor tonight breaks that top 8, you have a chance to stake your claim, grab whatever truck you want out of those top 8 as long as it is your first time signing up. You cannot have multiple trucks this season or any season really. I really want to stay away from that, but yes, one truck per person this season. Here comes Trevor Goldberg in Max D, once again bringing out that classic OG Maximum Destruction paint job, and Carl Van Horn in Gravedigger Fire, looking to keep up his tryouts tour appearances, earning more points and potentially getting a second Gravedigger qualified for the World Finals. Right now we do have Cole Pekka's Gravedigger 20 in the last chance qualifier competition, but as a werewolf node beam truck and a racing competition against a lot of V4s, I don't know if Cole Pekka is going to be able to make that stick. Plus, we don't know who's going to break into World Finals or last chance qualifier and nudge him out. So it is all fighting for points, of course. Both trucks staged and ready to go here tonight. In round 1, we're green, launching off of that starting pad into the first turn. Look at the big slide from Trevor Goldberg, nice and tight on the exit, and he does have a lead as we come around into our second lap. Beautiful turn, a big slide on the exit for Trevor Goldberg. Looks like Carl Van Horn is catching up. Can he come back through the final turn to the line? No! Trevor Goldberg, Max D, last Golden Days Tour. He was the racing champion, last Golden Day Tour show. He was the last racing champion. So here tonight, he's looking to go back to back. Can he? Is a different question, but we will find out here very, very soon. Giovanna Hayes, Megalodon Fire coming out on your right, taking on Madusa. The 2 women of RORSRPS going head to head here in Miami tonight in round 1. Madusa really not doing well in the racing competition so far this season. Giovanna Hayes not doing much better, but we have seen her in round 2 more frequently than Madusa. We'll see who can do it here tonight as they go head to head. We're green. Let's get it started. Big drift into the first turn there, nice and tight once again from the right side of your screen. Giovanna Hayes looking good in that first turn. Madusa is right there with her though, all those years of Monster Jam experience coming into play right now. Can she hold it through this final turn? Around we go. It is Madusa coming back to the line. Giovanna Hayes not far behind, but Madusa goes over and into the dumpsters after the race is over. Madusa is on to round 2 here tonight. Giovanna Hayes, a great effort, a really great pass, but just a little too slow through that second lap. I think it was that final turn that did her in. But nonetheless, here comes another woman of RORSRPS. Now, Krysten Anderson, Gravedigger, with that pink Gravedigger truck, taking on Armando Castro in this awesome OG scheme themed 2025 El Toro Loco. This is definitely inspired by that very, very early 2000s, very desaturated, bright colors in the flames and a bright, bright red for the base paint. Let's go green. See who's going to take it here tonight. Armando, typically a very solid bet for the semifinals. Oh, but he clips the car here in the first turn. He's behind early. Krysten Anderson knows how to capitalize on other drivers' mistakes and end up in the following round. We'll see if she can do that here. She does have the lead into this final turn, and around it we go. Krysten Anderson gonna hold it. Gravedigger once again on to round 2, second show in a row for Krysten Anderson. Her first show, last show on the tryouts tour, and now her second show, breaking into that second round. It may not seem hard, but these are the Golden Days All Stars. You need to get past them in order to see the final round, and so far not many tryouts tour competitors have done so. Devyn Barber in Avenger, one of our All Stars, taking on Minton in Knucklehead, coming from the tryouts tour last show. He did great in racing, made it up into the semifinals. He wants to do it again tonight, but he's taking on Devyn Barber, a really solid racer this season. We'll see if he can do it again. Let's go green. Devyn Barber with that awesome rat rod Avenger, coming around that first turn, neck and neck right now with Minton, a little bit behind over the jump though. Great turn from Devyn, but he is behind Minton. Again, another great race here in the Golden Days Tour this time around. Beautifully done over the line. Minton, Knucklehead, knocks out Devyn Barber in that awesome matte black Avenger. I love that thing. I know that is a fan favorite when it comes to Avenger schemes. Unfortunately, here in racing, it goes down in round 1. Shane Lake, Gravedigger 35, bringing back the Green Ghost once again, taking on Bari Musawwir in Zombie. These two are another one. I mentioned it last week. Wolverine and Gravedigger was a great looking matchup. They looked like they needed to go head and head, the green and the yellow. Here's another one in my personal opinion. Zombie taking on Gravedigger. They just sound like they need to go head to head, and of course it fits the theme. Let's go green. Who's gonna take it here tonight in round 1? Bari Musawwir, the first one headed into the turn with a big slide, and he is neck and neck with Shane Lake right now, just a little bit behind at the moment. Beautiful turn from Shane Lake, looking for a Dubby Racing Championship. We'll see if he can lock one down here tonight. Big drift once again into the line. Shane Lake, Gravedigger 35, gonna be heading into the next round. Bari Musawwir not making it stick here in round 1. Since season 1, he has just been struggling in every competition. Season 1, he was absolutely amazing, one of the record holders in terms of points for the season, but season 2, it just didn't follow, and same goes here so far from Bari in the racing competition. Here comes Colt Stevens, Thunder Roris, bringing back once again that RORSRPS World Finals 1 scheme. He'll be taking on Brandon Scaff, reigning racing champion from the tryouts tour in Red Hot, looking to go back to back. That is gonna be tough here with the RORSRPS All Stars though. Both drivers staged, ready to go, lining up for their round 1 race. Who will make it to round 2? We're off that starting pad and into the first turn. Red Hot with a big lead early on. You see him really sliding into that turn. Coming back is Colt Stevens though. Can he come back to the finish line is the question. Maybe make up a little bit of ground, hit it first. Around that final turn we go. The Nova coming out of it first and to the line. Brandon Scaff in Red Hot, taking it into round 2 here tonight. What a race. Nicely done from both of these drivers, keeping these trucks in control. Everyone has done a pretty solid job of that, barring Madusa, of course, but that was after the race and didn't really get into too much trouble. Just rolled the truck. Coming out next, Dawson Reyes in Shake Me. the other half of the T-Ray team. Spokane Speed Shop in the house here in Miami tonight. He'll be taking on Dustin Brown in Wolverine. Back again, just like Red Hot and Knucklehead. After last Tryouts Tour show, he's here tonight looking to keep his appearances up. He needs to break that top 8 in overall points for the night. We'll see what happens. The boat truck staged, ready to go. We're going green. It is Dawson Reyes. It looks like right now a two-time Dubby Racing champion so far this season. He wants to lock down another one, and through that second turn, it is all Dawson Reyes right now. Can he hold it to the line is the question. Oh, Wolverine trying to come back. A solid effort there from Dustin Brown, but it is Dawson Reyes in Shake Me with the lead over the finish line, heading into round 2 here tonight. Looking for one more Dubby Racing Championship, this time from Miami. Can he lock it down is the question. Steven Mason in Tornadic coming out on your left, taking on Josh Tonkin in Son of a Digger, another one-time Dubby Racing champion this season, but also the reigning World Finals champion in the racing competition. And of course, he went back-to-back in the World Finals. He was the fastest qualifier and the racing champion. So we'll see what he can do here tonight. Maybe shifting his luck right before the end of the season, right before the World Finals. We're green. Let's see who can take it here for this one. Into that first turn. Look at the big slide for Josh Tonkin. Not a good sign, taking on Steven Mason. Wow, look at that. Josh Tonkin all over the place, over the line for the first time, and he is just furthering the lead for Steven Mason right now around that final turn. It is Steven Mason with a little bit of a bobble, but it doesn't matter. Josh Tonkin too far behind this time around. Steven Mason in Tornadic is on to the second round. Look at the frustration donuts there from Josh Tonkin in Son of a Digger. Steven Mason moving on to close out the first round. If you're enjoying the racing competition so far, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We got new episodes every Saturday until the World Finals coming early October. And of course, check us out on Instagram for extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, and more. And last but not least, check us out on RORSRPS.com for our Season 3 trading cards. If you sign up and are named as a driver, you have cards with your name on them, literally, not figuratively. Max D is going to take on Madusa to kick off the second round. Then it's Krysten Anderson in Gravedigger taking on Knucklehead. Shane Lake in Gravedigger taking on Red Hot. And then, of course, it is Shake Me taking on Tornadic to close out that second round. Both of our first competitors of the second round have hit the track. Trevor Goldberg in Max D taking on Madusa in Madusa. Now, I was about to get ahead of myself a little bit, but I do want to say Madusa, really not a strong competitor in the second round. We've barely seen her there this season. We'll see what she can do here tonight, but it would be a massive change of pace for her to take out the reigning Golden Days Racing champion from New Orleans 2 weeks ago. Around that first turn, it is all Trevor Goldberg right now, but Madusa is right there with him. Wow. Coming into the second lap, this is where things can change massively, but Madusa is staying with them. They are neck and neck around the final turn to the line. It's gonna be a photo finish. Who got it? Madusa almost rolls over again. Waiting for that official call. Madusa takes out the reigning Dubby Racing champion. Trevor Goldberg is done here in Miami's racing competition tonight. We'll see him in freestyle later. If you don't know, stick around. If you're in the live chat, we'll go straight to freestyle. And if you're just watching this as a normal video, click on that end card. It'll take you straight to freestyle. Krysten Anderson in Gravedigger going to be on your right for this one, taking on Austin Minton in Knucklehead. Ready for a great race here, I'll tell you that much. 2 Tryouts Tour competitors making their debut. Last show, we're green and headed into our first turn. Beautiful turn from Austin Minton. Krysten Anderson not far behind, just a little sloppy through that first turn. She's out wide in the second as well. We'll see, can she come back? They are pretty much neck and neck here. Around the turn, Krysten with a slide. It's all Austin Minton by about a truck length. here in Miami. Austin Minton, Knucklehead, in round 2 advances on to the semifinals tonight. Look at him going freestyling a little bit. Happy to have taken out a Anderson and a Gravedigger driver, of course. Shane Lake in Gravedigger looking to keep the Diggers going here tonight, taking on Brandon Scaff in Red Hot. This is definitely going to be an interesting race. These are both past champions from this season, of course. Brandon Scaff from just one show ago. So we'll see what happens as we go green. Off the line and into the turn, going a little deep is Shane Lake. He starts out behind here in this race, but he is still relatively neck and neck with Brandon Scaff. Brandon starting to gap Shane Lake right now, the big dog struggling to get that truck into the turn, into the line. It is all Brandon Scaff here in round 2. Our next semifinalist is once again a Tryouts Tour competitor. We will see if he can lock down a second Dubby Racing Championship. That is an exciting prospect for Brandon Scaff right now. Dawson Reyes again, second half of the Spokane Speed Shop. Gonna be on your right for this one once again. This time taking on Steven Mason in Tornadic. Tornadic made it to the Dubby final round last show against Red Hot. Now taking on his teammate. We will see if Tornadic can make a change here tonight. This time taking out the Spokane Speed Shop member. Around the second turn, it is Dawson Reyes with the lead. Steven Mason struggling this time. Dawson is a little squirrely, but holding that lead. It is all Dawson Reyes to the line. Wow, what a finish there. A massive lead on Steven Mason, and that was not even Dawson's cleanest pass that we've ever seen from him. And that does it for the second round. Your semis are here. Madusa is going to take on Knucklehead, and Red Hot will take on teammate Shake Me. Spokane Speed Shop starting up a monopoly here in the semifinals, but only one can head into the Dubby final round. Madusa coming out to kick off the semis tonight. She's going to be on your right for this race for the first time tonight. Austin Minton and Knucklehead will be on your left for this one. We will see who takes it to the line first here tonight. Madusa, multiple championships from season 1. She was here as a substitute in season 2, was unable to earn herself a second show. She's here as an all-star this season. Can she lock down a racing championship? Returning to former glory, she's out deep in the first turn. Austin Minton comes back. You cannot make mistakes against this Knucklehead truck. Neck and neck as we head into the final turn. Madusa may have a shot here to the line. No! Austin Minton, Knucklehead, comes back, and he will be moving on to the Dubby final round. He makes it past the semifinals here tonight, knocking out RORSRPS All Star Madusa with one of the best racing and freestyle records ever on the channel. Here comes Brandon Scaff in Red Hot, taking on Dawson Reyes in Shake Me. T-Ray teammates Spokane Speed Shop lining up to find out which of the friends will come out on top here in Miami tonight. Both trucks staged were green and heading down the track for the final race of the semifinals. Red Hot, nice and tight around that first turn. Dawson starts out this race behind. Can he come back in this second lap? Oh, making the effort. He is trying hard. Oh, a slide here from Brandon Scaff, but it does not matter. Still a truck length lead on Shake Me here tonight. Brandon Scaff in Red Hot takes the win here in the semifinals. Can he do it one more time to lock down Dubby Racing Championship number 2? He has to take on Austin Minton in Knucklehead in the Dubby final round. To do so, it is here. It is time to crown our Dubby Racing Champion, and as the name suggests, it is all fueled by Dubby Energy. Everything that has to do with RORSRPS is fueled by Dubby Energy. 1 cup in the morning gets me through editing, graphic design, Instagram posts, track design, truck design, all of it, commentary, everything is fueled by Dubby Energy, and you can fuel your day with Dubby Energy using code RORSRPS at checkout. You'll get 10% off your purchase, and you can even get the sample pack to try out a couple of flavors and still use that promo code to get 10% off that purchase. My flavor of the day is Japanese soda. It is absolutely delicious. A pretty sweet flavor. They have some others, and they even have caffeine-free flavors. If you're not into caffeine, they have hydration electrolyte blends that are absolutely delicious. Check out the Pine Berry Splash. But your Dubby final round is gearing up to go racing. On your left, Brandon Scaff in Red Hot. Going to be taking on Austin Minton in Knucklehead. The first time I believe we're seeing Knucklehead on the right side of your screen. This could be interesting. I don't know who can take this one. Both of these drivers have been insane tonight and were insane last week as well. And as we line up stage, ready to go for the Dubby final round, it's time to go green. Let's find our Dubby Racing champion. Big slide from Brandon Scaff. Knucklehead clipping that turning car. Is that it for Knucklehead tonight? Around that second turn into the line. Let's find out who will be our Dubby Racing champ. Through the turn, not bad from Austin Minton, but it is all Brandon Scaff in Red Hot. Once again, your Dubby Racing champion, this time making it through all of the RORSRPS All Stars to claim his championship. It is pretty much a lock for Brandon Scaff in the World Finals, and if not, I'm sure next show he will definitely earn some more points. I don't know if he's going to take a win or not, but he will definitely be a competitor as he was tonight, as he was last show. When you take a championship, you are much, much more likely to earn a second show. You are well on your way, but you still need to have a relatively decent performance in the freestyle competition. We'll see if he can do that here tonight, but nonetheless, here in the racing competition, once again, your Dubby Racing champion, Brandon Scaff in Red Hot, and he once again throws in a backflip for us. Don't think I missed that. I saw it. Brandon Scaff with some insane freestyling just to celebrate his racing championship here in Miami, and some donuts to go with it. Another one. Another bit of hardware to take back to the Spokane Speed Shop. One last look at your Dubby Racing champion tonight, Brandon Scaff in Red Hot. We'll see more of him in the freestyle competition. Again, stick around to the end of the video. You can either click on the end card, or if you're in the live chat, we'll go straight there. Max D still has the points lead with 182. Gravedigger Shane Lake with 155, 133 for Devyn Barber, and 121 for Dawson Reyes. Armando Castro and El Toro Loco 115. Thunder Roris 105. Son of a Digger 92, and Madusa with 77. Megalodon right there with her with 75. It comes down to freestyle tonight. Red Hot ends up with 24. Same for Knucklehead and Tornadic with 20. Gravedigger Krysten Anderson with 12. Same for Zombie. Carl Van Horn's Gravedigger Fire with 10, and Wolverine with 9 closes out our final four for tonight's racing competition. Remember, freestyle coming up in just a minute. More points will be added to the board. If you enjoyed tonight's racing competition, though, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, stick around. We got new episodes every Saturday until the World Finals. And of course, check us out on Instagram at RORSRPS for extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, and more. And check us out on our website, RORSRPS.com, for our Season 3 trading cards. Sign up, guys. If you sign up and you are named as a driver in a video, you have at least one card design with your name literally on it. You can buy a pack and have a chance at owning your card. Also, check out our channel partner, Dubby Energy, for some clean, jitterless energy. You can get 10% off your purchase using code RORSRPS at checkout. Tell them we sent you, and they will knock some of the price off. Again, check out that sample pack, guys. It is a lot cheaper than a full tub. You get multiple flavors and a shaker, and you can still use that promo code on that purchase to get a little bit of a discount on that as well. But thank you for tuning into the racing portion of tonight's broadcast. Stick around. Freestyle in Miami, Florida, coming at you right now.